Hi guys, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a flip through project share of the scrapbooking layouts I've done for 2019 so far. I have them all in this, mostly in this album. It's full now, and I have a few in another layout, so another album rather. So yeah, some of these are from last year, so I'll just sort of, I'll show you, but I'll skip through those. And yeah, they're not in any sort of, well, they're kind of somewhat in chronological order. I don't scrap chronologically. I tend to just, I have a pile of photos and I grab whatever photo I feel like scrapping at the time. So when I put them away, I just sort of pop them in the album roughly chronologically within the album, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's probably not the best way to do it, but that's how I like to scrap. So one day I'll be able to organize all my photos layouts in proper order, but for now they just go away so they don't get damaged. So let's just start going through. Okay, so they are in date order, not creation order. So this layout is one I did for Scrap the Boys for March, I think. So the prompt was Love You to the Moon and the Stars, or something like that. So I used my scrappery kit for this, Cocoa Vanilla Midnight Collection. Did a bit of hand stitching and a bit of mixed media. That's my little bubba, my firstborn. He was only 5 days old there, so cute. This one was my guest design layout for Scrap the Boys for May. I won the February challenge, so they offered me a guest designer spot. So this was Kaiser Craft Baby Boy collection. I cut the wood grain into strips and ruffled up the edges, and I cut out a bunch of these branches on my silhouette, and yeah. Lots of pretty layers. My family is home, so if you can hear noises, that's just them. This is a double page spread I did for my little man when he was about 9 months old. I did a 12 by 12 and a pocket page. So this is the 12 by 12. It's Cocoa Vanilla More Than Words collection. I love Cocoa Vanilla stuff, so I did some messy tearing and lots of fussy cutting on the floral paper, some mixed media and some stamping with, not stamping, yeah, there's stamping back there. These feathers are stamping and this is modelling paste, these leaves. Lots of layers behind the photo and some chipboard alphas down here. Love this mixed media. So soft and pretty, this page. And then the matching page is a pocket style page. So I just have a journaling card here, a couple of decorative pockets, a couple of little photos, and then 3 big ones. And I've just matted them on white and added a few little text photos. A little vellum butterfly down here. I love these photos. I'm not sure whether this layout has gone up yet in a process video, but I have filmed a process video anyway. This is the Kaiser Craft Everlasting collection. This is the first layout I made with that. I used this beautiful floral paper as a background and then did a couple of layers with the white and mint green, hand stitched all around. Used the cut file from Paper Issues, I think it was, a free cut file, lots of florals and some pretty layers behind my photo. I love these glitter thickers. And this is actually the branding strip. But I just love the quote so much, I just cut it up and laid it there. This was our first ever Mother's Day together. So I journaled up here, our first Mother's Day, 10th of May 2015. Oh, it seems so long ago. So these are actually from last year, this one and this one. I did these in 2018, but I may as well share with you while I'm here. Okay, so this was Christmas that year. This is the Echo Park Merry and Bright collection that I've used. I did some stamping and white embossing on the background and then watercolored over it, so it's kind of a resist technique. I don't know whether you can see that. There is a process video out for this on my channel. I really like how this one turned out. This one is probably one of my favorite layouts I've ever done. I just love the colours and the mixed media and everything. It's actually really quite simple, but I made all these leaves myself with some watercolour pencils. I just drew them and, you know, coloured them in with, and painted them with watercolour pencils, and then I cut the wreath out on my silhouette and just sort of glued the leaves together in clusters around the wreath, and I really love it. Did some mixed media on the background and some journaling text. I love those gold alphas. You know, right around 2 there. So cute. This was my Scrap the Boys layout for April. The theme was Let Them Eat Cake, so I made a birthday layout for my little man. This was his 2nd birthday. So this one was taken about a month before this one. So here he is eating his little birthday cupcakes. I just made a flag bunting style, some splatters and some strips at the top and the bottom. This is using the Kaiser Craft Party Time collection. Another one of my favorite ever pages. I love this one. This is my little girl in December of 17, so she was only about 4 months old in this photo. I just love that Love her little face in this photo. Cut file is from Paige Evans. I just popped it up on some foam. This part and this part is popped up, and this part is just straight on the page, and the photos popped up as well. And I've just done 3 little floral clusters with some tags and butterflies. The wood grain is from the Kaisercraft Mint Wishes collection, I think. It might be Memory Lane. It's either Mint Wishes or Memory Lane, this wood grain. And most of these backing papers are from Everlasting. And I think the florals are from the Fleur collection. So they're all Kaisercraft, but there's a few different collections in there. Another Christmas one. I actually did this one last year as well, but oh well, may as well show you them all. There's no point in skipping through. So I just did like a hillside design with some torn paper, little house and Christmas tree die cuts. The houses are die cuts of Christmas trees I fussy cut out from paper. Some photo layers and title. I also did some stamping with white embossing powder in the background there, heat embossing. Really love that one. All of these layers either have process videos up already, or they will have process videos up. This one was from last year as well. I just hand stitched some strings and I added some little baubles. These are all fussy cut out from paper. A couple of photos on this layout. There's also some modelling paste snowflakes in the background. You probably can't tell. Not snowflakes, just sort of snow. And some watercolour as well, and then lots of little bits on this page. It's very busy, but I love it. This was also from last year, so this is the Coco Vanilla Studio Midnight Large Die Cut Kit. So I actually cut it out from the paper and popped it up on foam. Did some hand stitching, added some modelling paste and some sequins and bits and pieces. Lots of beautiful ephemera on this page. That's all from Rosie's Studio. And I did my journaling down here in soft grey pen. Lots of beautiful torn layers. I love this page. This one, I'm not sure whether I did this year or last year, but not that it really matters. This is the same photos as this day, but just a slightly different photo. Some of these are going to go in my sort of family albums, and some of these are going to go in her baby album, so I don't mind scrapping multiples of these. Again, Coco Vanilla More Than Words. This is a Paige Evans cut file. I've just backed some of the hearts and some of them I've left empty and just put little chipboard hearts and little phrase stickers and things in there. Some pink and blue mixed media in the background and some gold splatters and just some photo layers. And I machine stitched all the way around the edge. This one I love. This is one of the layouts where I'm trying to branch out into colour. As you can probably tell, I'm very comfortable with pastels and sort of even like darker tones, like jewel tones and like autumn colours. I'm comfortable doing those, but sort of bright primer colours and mixing colours I struggle with. This is probably as colourful as even this was getting outside my comfort zone. So I did some mixed media in the background with a turquoise mist, and then I did some black splatters all over. This is some stamping, some messy layers. My journaling's down here. Put a red border around and then a scribble border with a black pen. I really like this one. I just love his face. He was so happy to get this. We bought him this ATV for Christmas, little quad bike, electric, and it was just, he thought it was the best thing ever. And he actually still uses this. He's far too big and heavy for it, barely moves with him on it, but he loves it so much. This is a recent one. This is my first layout with the Coco Vanilla Happiness collection. Very bright for me. This was a struggle to get it this bright, but it's still very pretty colours. So I cut a panel out here, and then I punched a bunch of circles out of some of the pattern papers and just sort of layered them over the top of each other to create a scallop border. And I hand stitched with some gold thread, and my photo on top of a doily with some florals and some little shaker embellishments. I did some mixed media in the background, just some of that soft blue colour just to make that doily stand out. Little cluster up here, and then my journaling and my title. This page is warped heaps. I've really tried. I've stuck it down to a background paper, like just to plain cardstock to try and flatten it out, and even that, it's not holding to the glue. It's still bubbling up off that. So it's fine down the bottom, but just at the top here it's really rippled, and I don't know why. It's not like I used a lot of mixed media on this page, just this little bit, and it wasn't a lot of water on there, so I don't know. I think I might have blasted it with my heat gun. That's always a mistake. So I might have to pull this out and just sort of, I don't know. I mean, there's too much on here to flatten it now. So if you have any tips for me, please throw them at me. This layout I love. This is my Scrapbook kit again. The Sky Kit, full of Coco Vanilla Midnight. So I love this wood grain paper. This is a scrap lift of Virginia Walker from Confessions of a Paper Addict. I basically copied her entire layout. I just changed the color scheme a little bit, but I loved it, and I love this. This is one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite photos ever. I love it. Look at them, they're just so sweet. So I did wreath design using Virginia's cut file in Grow Your Own Garden, and these papers are almost all midnight except the purple, which is Rosie's Studio. Didn't add any journaling because I am going to do a pocket page to go with this spread. This page, another one of my favorites. Oh gosh, I have so many favorites, but I love this one. I put so much time and sweat and tears into this one. This is all hand stitched. So I printed out it's one of Paige Evans' floral cut files, and I printed it out on my printer. My printer takes A3 paper, so I printed it out in a very, very soft grey, and then I pierced the whole thing and hand stitched the whole thing in white. I did the mixed media first, but then I pierced it and hand stitched all over in white, and it took me so long, but it's so pretty. I have these soft layers behind the photo, and then just some butterflies and florals, and I did a couple of clusters. This was to cover a giant hole, but you can't tell, and there was a little hole down here as well, but it creates that visual triangle, so I'm not mad about it. It turned out really beautifully in the end. And this is her cake smash, so that's why she's got all just before her first birthday. I think it was the day before. I just love it. I love every photo from that session. This layout, I don't love this one. It's probably my least favorite actually out of all of these, which is a bit sad because I love this photo of me and my nana, but I did this for a challenge, and I don't know, I just think I'm not happy with the color scheme. That was a whole challenge, and I was trying to get out of my comfort zone with color, but I don't know. I mean, it's fine. So I used a wreath cut file. This is another Paige Evans one. Backed it with some papers. I added some die cuts and little paper flowers. There's some pom-poms on here as well, which I actually quite like. My title, this was cut out in my silhouette, and then I've hand stitched around it in white. I might add some shadows in because it kind of fades away into the background. And then I put on these butterflies and did some hand stitched trails. I really like the tissue paper ruffles. I like this photo mat. I like the colours in that. I think it's just, I don't know, not really me. This one I definitely did last year. It's a Christmas layout. I like this one, even though it's not technically very good, because it's got this giant sort of white space down here that draws your eye, but I really like it. I'm happy with it, how it turned out. I love the background paper. I love this photo of my kids with Santa. I love the peppermint stripe. I love this cluster. So, I mean, on the whole, it's not technically well executed, but I really like it anyhow. I like the little pops of black. I don't know. I like looking at it, and that's the main thing. So sometimes they don't always turn out how you want. I had a lot of people telling me this shouldn't be here and it doesn't work, but I'm happy with it in the end, and that is the main thing. So that's all of this album. I have a couple more to show you in the other album. So this was my layout for Scrap the Boys February challenge, and this was the one that I won with, so that's very exciting. I won some free cut files from Cut to You, which was really, really nice. I love this layout. This is Kaiser Craft Sandy Toes, I think. Mostly Sandy Toes, and then some of these papers are from Deep Sea. So the cut file is from Paper Issues. It's a free one. I just backed that with a Deep Sea papers, and this spotty one, I can't remember where that's from. I think it's from Rosie's Studio. I used this starfish sort of on the beach paper as my background. I did some messy photo layers. This is modeling paste, and then I took one of my blue ink pads and sort of rubbed it over the top. You probably can't see the blue, but it's very subtle. A cluster and lots of journaling for this one, and blue splatters everywhere, and some blue enamel dots as well. This one you probably haven't seen yet. There is a process video coming. This is another one of Virginia Walker's beautiful cut files, and my little daughter playing with her castle that she got for Christmas. Pretty much everything on this layer is from Rosie's Studio except the rainbows, which are from Simply Gilded. That's actually a sticky note. So I won't go in depth too much with that because it is a process video coming. And this is my most recent layout. I just popped this in yesterday. Again, the Happiness collection from Coco Vanilla Studio. I fussy cut this wreath out of the wreath paper and then put on some just, again, white cardstock, even though the background was white, but I wanted it popped up off the background. It's up on foam, and I did a bunch more mixed media in the background. The original paper has a few sort of speckles, but I wanted more, so I added some of the pink, the orange, and the blue. These butterflies are all fussy cut out of the butterfly paper, so they're all glued down with their wings popped up. I have a couple of photos on this page. I did it like this because it's a very similar photo. She's just pulling a slightly different face, and this one's a lot lighter, so I put that in the foreground and popped it up, and I put this one in the background and put it flat on the paper, and just popped in a couple of labels with my journaling there, which is just the date. And I love this journaling card, so it's one of the mini ones off the cut apart sheet out of the 6x8 paper pad, so it's smaller than sort of a normal journaling card, so I popped that in there. Love that one, and that's it. So this album's pretty much empty. I'm not a fan of these albums generally. These, like, I don't know, are they post bound? They're zip tie sort of style ones.
I prefer the D-ring albums, but I had this and it was the only MT album I had available. See, it's not even... So I'm going to use it for now, but they're not going to stay in here. I will get some more D-ring ones. But that's it for now. So I really hope you enjoyed joining me for this video. If you want to see, I'll probably try and do these quarterly. So if you want to see another one, leave me a comment, let me know you like it, and I'll think about doing another one in a few months' time. So I appreciate you joining me. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.